She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I see?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know, the shows on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you are aware there is an invention called television, and on that invention, they show shows.
Yeah.
Well, they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and on that show, it's called a pilot. And they show that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they wanted to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't become nothing. She starred in one of those that became nothing.
Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is the man that knows love. It's Captain Philip Restisher. I love you.
I love you too. I have no love. I've hated love. I've loved love. And I have been tormented by love. Mm-hmm. And, I practice all the loves. I love to hate, even.
There's a spectrum, right, of many different things. For autism, for color, for many things.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd is a great example. There's a spectrum of love.
Right. Yeah, there is.
And you've experienced...
There's different kinds.
You've experienced almost all of it.
Yeah, there's lust, like lust love.
Mm-hmm, right.
There is, like, family love.
Romantic love.
Romantic love.
Brotherly love, like The City.
Yeah.
Love for a sandwich.
Love for a sandwich.
That's right.
So there's all kinds of love. And like I said, there's hate love, too. I mean, you can love to hate somebody.
Right.
Like,
or
that's
something.
You obsess about it or something.
Do you have someone
Bananas.
in your life you do hate? You know what? They always say avocados, bananas, you can't juice them. Well, why did 2 rotten bananas create a puddle on my counter then?
Ooh.
It was gross.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yuck.
I bet so gross.
You want to welcome our guest that we have?
Our guest, you know him from being the security guard for IBWIP as well as Couch Pilots. He found the second pachinko machine. He has a wildly successful karaoke podcast. Let's welcome to the show, Big E.
You know, it doesn't matter how many times you hear...
Hold on. The crowd is
Thank you.
frantic. We knew that coming in. We knew it was going to be
awesome. You got a bicycle.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't matter how many times I've heard this show,
Right.
and I've heard this monologue,
Yeah.
and I should know it by heart.
You're talking about the one that was right at the beginning by you and Blake.
But then when you fucking read it, you still fuck it
Yeah,
up.
it's
I
hard.
still fuck it up, too.
You
Yeah.
still fuck it up.
I fuck it up, and I got the least amount of lines and least amount of words.
I think one of the few
fuck it up.
joys I have in life
David
is...
Lytle.
Yeah. I mean,
It was funny. I loved it.
it's clear David knows how to read.
But you fuck it up.
One of my few joys is putting guests on the spot and having them fuck up some stuff because none of this is serious. It's supposed to be fun. And if someone fucks up, it's funny. I like funny. You okay over there?
Yeah, I think something happened to my cockpit chair. It doesn't seem right. To
What
me.
happened to that weird?
Probably one of the ones that I've sat in for 100 times. It's probably
No, it's the flooring is the.
Oh,
is
okay,
the- and I'm wearing my bare feet, and I can feel the problem
hump?
where the problem is.
Remember that time you felt that like mole or whatever run over your foot?
Oh, I was here for that.
Well, that's actually a good segue because I too, Blake, just like you, have loved and I have lost, and I also love lawn care. I love taking care of my yard. There's something zen and immediate about getting something accomplished in your yard. I took down a tree last night. It felt wonderful. All right?
With your bare hands?
Bare hands, ripped at it, just tore at it.
Just punched it like Rocky Balboa, just over and over until
Like that-
Dracov, he fell
Like
down.
that young Russian woman, or that young Russian girl on YouTube.
Both of those things is what happened.
There's a young Russian girl on YouTube?
Yeah, she's like in
don't
her
know.
like maybe early teens, and they show her out in the woods
Where they all women belong.
bare fisting trees and knocking like the bark. I mean, not like big ass trees, but like knocking them down with her fists.
That's dumb.
Well, I mean, she's really toughening up her hands.
Is she built like a brick house?
Do you want a woman with...
For a little girl, I mean, she's jacked.
I want a woman with a
Slow
hand.
hand.
I
She's a bark.
I-
Ow.
I know you go to xhamster.com. You
Yes.
had some problems with it recently.
Yeah, I had some problems with it
You
recently.
ever put in their search engine tree fisting?
No. I'll have to.
You should try it.
Ironically, I was watching porn while you guys were talking about. Your
And don't you
just
hate
now?
that one? Don't
Just
you-
now while we were talking?
No.
Don't you hate
Last
when you're
night.
watching porn and then your buddies go crazy and in the text chat, and so you just have to keep swiping
Yeah,
across?
you're like,
And you
I'm
keep
busy.
and you're
I'm
trying
busy.
to masturbate, but you keep seeing Dustin's name pop up. And then Dustin's in your head, and you're about ready to ejaculate, and you're thinking about Dustin while you're having
and
an
then
orgasm,
Kevin, posts something about food, and then you're just,
and then you're finished, and you got to
Almost
clean
takes
up.
you out of it. Almost takes you out of it.
almost.
Oh,
but
never has yet.
Hasn't yet. I always finish. But
a lot of fine lines.
Oh, mercy. But I tell you, I'm not a Russian lady. I've been confused for one. But sometimes I'll spend time in my yard getting it to look nice, and I love doing that. But I've had a problem lately, and the problem is with moles. You guys have that problem?
Oh yeah.
Since we moved in here, we had a really problem with one in the backyard, but now it's moved out to like the side yard, which I don't go to, and so I'm like, hey, you can stay over there. I don't give a fuck. But
What are you doing to get rid of them, if anything?
I read so much different stuff, and the stuff that people were talking about was like expensive, and then we had Rory, and now we have Velma, and so I can't really put a bunch of chemicals in the backyard.
And with him having Velma, that's probably why the mole moved to the other side because that's not where Velma's at.
Now, Velma is your paternal grandmother, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
She's a little Filipino lady. She's about 75,000 years old, and she does yoga in the mornings outside on the deck.
Yeah. It's
and-
very susceptible to poison.
Right, and then I make her empty the skimmer on the pool, and then the rest of the day she just watches Maury Povich.
You got to earn her keep.
Moles do not like dogs. I found that out in our old house that we lived our first house that we had. If we had the dogs out back, the front yard was soft as shit.
Yeah.
Because of moles. Well, if we let the dogs run around out front, then the backyard would be soft as shit.
Just chasing them, huh?
Yeah, they go wherever the dogs aren't because they know they're not going to.
And you got a tiny dog named Oreo, right?
I don't think he's scaring anything.
But it is Oreo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever double stuff Oreo?
Ooh.
Do you ever go to xhamster.com and search tree fisting double stuff Oreo? I have about 2 weeks ago, I go outside and I see a thing in my yard. I was like, I don't know what that thing is. So I get closer to it, and that thing is a mole, and it's dead.
Okay, it's dead.
Yeah,
so
so
you killed it.
solved.
Now, you would think so. I think the rule is more than one mole per neighborhood. So I see the dead mole, and I was like, that's bizarre. I've never seen a mole in person. So
How bizarre.
I take it and I throw it in the backyard to let it decompose, and later I'll harvest its bones. Don't worry about what for. And then a couple days after that, I start seeing a bunch of like mole tunnels in my front yard.
It makes your yard mushy as fuck.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm like, I don't like this at all. This is awful. And I had a trap, and it's one of the ones. It's a metal spikes. You stick it in the ground, and you step on it, and the spikes open up. And when they trigger a thing, it closes on them and basically like snaps them in half.
Right.
And I was doing this, and I bought a second one here in Pekin at the Tractor Supply Company over by the Walmart. And I was using these two, and I felt like a fool because nothing was coming of it. And then within like a 24-hour period, I got 2. So I had a total of 3 dead moles, and I think it stopped. I think I've solved the problem.
3 dead moles in Jason's front yard. Keep that.
Were they-
Write that down for Christmas.
Were they caught in a trap?
They can't go back.
Can't go
Because there's spikes going through their body.
Baby.
I don't take any pleasure in killing animals. I'm not a hunter or a fisherman. I don't mind fishing, but here's the thing. I felt bad killing these little moles, but they were fucking up my yard.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do that.
They're fucking your shit
Like
up.
I said in our text chain, kill them all.
Got to kill them all, man.
Fuck it.
What purpose do they serve? I mean, what do
Besides fucking up your yard,
Right.
probably nothing.
There's no. I mean, they don't eat bugs.
I hear
they
the
don't-
one animal you do not want to kill if it's in your yard
I know what this is going to be.
is a possum.
Yep.
Because they eat everything. Ticks. Your dogs ain't going to get to worry about nobody getting ticks.
They're
if
your
you got a
garbage
possum.
disposal, right? They just
Yeah.
eat all that shit.
They can, they can withstand like
Lightning strikes.
8,
Da, 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 da,
like
da,
8
da.
snake bites. I mean, they're like,
You can't bust them. Just like those Lee Dungarees I love so
They're
much.
like a four-legged cockroach.
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible.
So all they eat, they eat all the bugs, they eat all the ticks, they eat everything that you don't want.
Right.
They're getting rid of for you.
I do like them, and when they're babies, they're cute. Otherwise, they look like nightmares. Like living.
Oh yeah.
But I don't take any pleasure in killing animals. But I don't go into the woods. I don't go out there and like dig holes or punch trees.
There's no place for a bird to live.
Thank you.
Lawn care for me is I never feel like I'm ahead of it, and that's what frustrates me. I have a very our backyard is very there's a lot of terrain, there's a lot of obstacles,
Love terrain
and
Different levels.
there's different levels, and then my wife 2 years ago she planted some mint, and then now it's all over the area of the backyard. So when I mow, it just instantly smells like mint.
Is it wonderful though?
No, it makes my throat get all clogged, close it up. And
What's the
everything.
purpose of the mint?
I think it was to keep animals away,
Oh, yes.
and and so she planted more mint in flower boxes on the deck of the pool because it's supposed to keep bugs away too.
My uncle was a Mormon, and
Okay.
he had 3 wives.
Nice.
A Mormont?
And each was more beautiful than the next.
Hey.
Now, is this the same kind of mint you would use for a julep?
Sure.
Oh, that's nice. I'd go julep crazy.
Well,
back
when I
there.
mow, after I mow, as
Yeah.
soon as I let Velma out,
Yeah.
she runs over to it
rolls in
and just rolls and digs her
Good.
face into it.
thought it
Better
was supposed
smell
to-
that way than like a dirty dog.
Well,
I thought it was supposed to keep animals away, though. But that dog runs right into it?
She's like,
I guess I should have said varmints. It keeps varmints
Oh,
away.
varmints. Okay. Rodentia.
like your mole.
And
Yes.
the other problem I have with lawn care is I have a battery operated weed whacker,
So do I.
Yeah.
and I can't do the front and the backyard on
Really?
one battery charge.
Oh, wow. I can do like 3 yards.
Oh, see, and so that bothers me because I get the front yard weed eated. It looks nice, but then the backyard's not. And then the next time I do the backyard, and then the front yard doesn't look good. So,
You know what you need? A second battery.
yeah, but it's one of those things where like the battery probably costs as much as buying a new one.
Trust me, I went green last year and bought all electric everything, all battery operated. So I got a battery powered lawnmower.
He's electric.
Woogie woogie woogie. I got a battery powered lawnmower, battery powered weed eater,
Battery powered lawnmower?
Yeah,
Is that good? That sounds like a terrible idea.
motherfucker runs better than any gas mower I've ever had.
I knew a lady who had like a lawn Roomba. It's just a circle robot that would go and do the yard.
I know the lady you're speaking of.
And I think that's that's electric as well.
Yeah, it's battery powered. It's got its own whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. She just turns it on in the morning and it goes and does what it needs to do. It does sections at a time.
That's awesome.
But mine, I just put the battery in. I can probably mow close to an acre on one battery.
Holy cow. I don't know. I kind of like the satisfaction of doing it.
To me, yard work is a job, and I hate it.
You do. I see. I do it, and I turn around.
Now
and I
that
say, oh
Dylan's
my
old
God.
enough,
Yeah,
he's mowing the grass now.
that's fair. My daughter's older than your kid, and she doesn't even know what a lawnmower is. I don't think.
Well, she's a girl.
Yeah, but yeah, girls. What do they know how to do? I can see you as a person that would get enjoyment out of it because you're a meticulous person.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you have some OCD tendencies.
How bizarre.
Bizarre.
And the plot of land that you have
Good plot.
is a great plot. Kind of scary, but there's some drama.
Sure.
But you have something that you can manage without spending hours.
Yeah.
But then you choose to overdo it and make it better, and so then you do spend hours and hours. But you get satisfaction from things that I would never get satisfaction from. So I can definitely see how you like it.
Well, I think it's in my blood. And I tell you why, because I
In
go
the
to
mortal
my,
worlds of Blake Clayton and Shawn Menendez.
yeah. I went to my dad's house. My dad owns a narrow strip of property, and it goes like his house, and he's got a garage literally as big as his house, and he's got a garden and a shed and some trees, and then it goes back to a cornfield. It's this narrow strip, and it's like a park. Like he puts the fertilizer out there. He puts all the weed killer. It's thick, luscious green, and he's got like a track for a go-kart back there.
What part of town does your dad live in?
He lives in Rome, Illinois, right
Okay.
off of
Oh, okay,
29.
okay.
And it's like you could look out in the winter from his front yard and you could see the river from there.
Yeah.
Goes across 29, then the old 29, but then his narrow strip of land, his is very meticulous as well.
See, with fertilizing stuff, I never know when to do it, and then when I think about doing it, it's too late to do it.
And pecan soil is so bad.
Sand. It's just sand.
Unless you have somebody come in and take care of it and make sure it's like fed right, shit doesn't grow here.
The only reason that half of my front yard looks good is because the next door neighbors have theirs treated, and each year it kind of just goes a little bit, creeps a little, so I'm like, hey, maybe in about 5 years I'll have a great front yard.
You know what you should do? Whatever their treatment is, if it's like a chemical or like a seed, along your property line while they're doing it, you should set up a series of box fans to like suck some of that shit over to your yard. Yeah. Smart.
Are you guys or know the Bottoms area of East Peoria?
Sure. Down by Cat?
Yeah. My dad, rest in peace, he lives. He owns a home down there, but on that home, they own like a few of the houses. My dad owns like 4 acres of land in the Bottoms. How the hell that is possible, I do not know. Like his lot goes like your dad's. It goes from like all the way to this way back lot. But total, between all the houses, they own 4 of the houses right there on that end of the block. But he said, "Oh man, I gotta mow like 4 acres."
Yeah.
That's what my stepmom was, but I'm like, I just don't see where he's got 4 acres at.
Yeah, it's a weird little area down there. It's almost completely surrounded by caterpillar plants.
Yep.
But I used to work down there at Caterpillar, and so did Blake. We worked the same building down there.
Yeah, it's where we met.
It's where we met.
Fell in love.
It's when they look back in the annals of history, that'll be page 1. That'll be the genesis, right?
If they look back of the annals of history, there might be some polyps in it.
And you might go to xxhamter.com and look at the annals.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain's turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Scott, I'm glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of my favorite guests. I love you as a man, as a friend, as a person. I'm really glad you're on the show today.
Thank you.
And I love Karaoke Big E.
Thank you.
It is. I know I've said it before, and I will say it again. Even though I am just a little sliver of it, and it helped you develop that idea, I'm very proud of what you guys have done with that show.
Did you listen to that, the DeAndre?
I stopped listening about a year and a half ago. No, I listened to every episode. Yeah, that was good.
Was it good?
Yeah. What was it? He was he? I forget. Was he biking or he was flipping a tire?
Yeah, rolling a 230-pound tractor tire.
That's what it was.
That's what he does every day of the week.
And did you listen to that episode, Blake?
Huh.
He was talking to this guy. He's like, "Yeah, I flip tires across America," and I was like, "That's a bizarre thing to do." And Scott's like, "I bet you have all sorts of stories with the encounters of people." And one of the things it was like, "I bet you met some ladies." And the guy was like, he didn't want to elaborate on it at all, but something was going on there.
I'm like, well, he mentioned that he gets hit on all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I know what kind of women hit on people outwardly, and it's usually like older women.
Sure.
So I was like, you got a lot of older women hitting on you?
Yeah, I'm sure
and he's
that
like,
he does.
oh yeah, and then he's like, all of them, women, gay dudes. I'm like, Jesus.
You know what? He may not be a gay guy, but it counts. Like if you're like saying, who's hitting on me? Am I looking good enough to attract the opposite sex or people of the same sex? If a gay guy hits on you, it still counts.
It does,
okay? And I would count it.
Absolutely.
That's a little tip of the cap right there.
I was just waiting. We've been around gay folk before, and
we love gay folk.
I just wait for one of them, and I think they just.
You're waiting? What are you waiting for?
Waiting for one of them to hit on me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were waiting to turn. Today we discussed the pilot episode of Delirium from the year of our Lord 2000. Add 14. Great year.
2014. Let's go and see. That's 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. That was the year before we started this humble little program.
Yeah, I was 39.
33.
I was married to Molly, so things were great.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get married in 2014? No.
It
was 2015.
I was going to say, okay,
Yeah,
I was say
14
14 or 15.
Yeah, we just had our anniversary in May, so yeah. Yeah, so, we were living in the apartment, right?
Mm-hmm. The townhouse.
Townhouse.
You had a graveyard in the back.
You had a graveyard in the back, and we used to...
Business in the front.
We used to podcast in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was I thought it was probably about a year before I met you guys.
Probably so.
Because I came to your 40th birthday party So
Yeah. I think we had just saw each other at JJ Vapes. That's right.
Yep.
And I think about that. I think about that rekindling of your friendship. And Blake, you love cigarettes. You're off the vape pretty much. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
And then Scott, you were vaping at a 0% Nick. You just love flavor.
I just like the flavor.
And who could blame you? Do you still vape? No. You don't vape at all?
I have a rig, and I was doing it for CBD, but it wasn't doing anything, so I don't even do.
So when did
I
you
switched
stop?
to the real. I probably haven't vaped in probably about 2 or 3 months.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I was still vaping. It was just for the CBD part, and it really didn't. It really wasn't doing what I wanted it to do.
Okay, because we would have you guys together in here, and we would do that part of IBWIP. What's up with these?
Never
folks?
did it down here, did we?
No.
And you guys would just plume the hell out of this
yeah,
shit.
we would.
And I assumed you had stopped a long time ago because I haven't seen you do it in forever.
Nah, I just stopped like a few months ago. I wasn't doing it all the time, but just enough like right before I go to bed, I'd hit it a couple times, help me sleep. But it was, it's not like anything else. You build up a tolerance to it, and it takes more and more to do it. And I just
Like the beers.
that's why I don't. That's why I mean I still partake on doing the real weed, but I don't do it all the time because I don't want to get like burnout on it.
That's smart. Yeah, you don't want to become like that's some of my thing about like sexual stuff. It's like now I got to introduce this sexual thing, and I can't get off unless I introduce this thing. And I feel like it keeps escalating. So I feel like everything in moderation. It never comes to a point where you're building a
Next
callus.
thing you know, you're watching Daisy Taylor porn. Yeah, I know. I've been there.
He's been there. 2014, 6 years ago.
Not a whole long time ago, but still.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, Dylan was
He had a little hair on his chest.
already born. I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
your child. I mean,
Yeah, let's go back there.
in our minds.
And to do so, we'll talk about things that happened in 2014 so we can properly digest Delirium that was made in that year in this year, 2020, right?
Yeah, we can't. We're going to look at this pilot, and we have to look at it in regards to 2014. If we look at it from the standpoint of 2020, things are just in that
So different.
6 years is a very small, minute part of the grand scheme. But there's so many things that we didn't have.
I still don't think we had Band-Aids 6 years ago.
We
I
didn't
don't
have
think we did.
Band-Aids, and we didn't have the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No.
You know,
Are you sure?
yeah.
pretty sure.
I always all these that I go through. I always look them up.
Roberto Clemente did not play for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's fair. Okay.
No, we didn't have things like bobby socks.
Woo!
We didn't have submarines.
Can't do it.
And most definitely, we did not have multiple marriages. Like, people were married to multiple people at one time.
My uncle who's a Mormon.
Yeah.
Polygamous.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Polygamy?
Polygamy.
Up or down? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
No, I can't handle one woman.
Right. I couldn't imagine trying to make 2 to 3 women or 4 women happy.
I'm with you guys, but I'm just saying I think the guys who can do it probably have a very strong pimp hand.
Oh.
And I will say
Yeah.
that I would say to each their own.
You have to have a pimp hand.
Have to.
You have to have a pimp hand.
I like a woman with a
Pimp hand. I'm telling you.
No, it's I like a woman who can take my
Pimp
pimp
hand.
hand.
There it
I'm
is.
telling you, these women that I don't know. I've never been around anybody that's had more than one wife.
Neither have I. Yeah, that's a very
I
foreign
would just
thing.
think you're constantly putting out fires, just constantly between them, between you and one, between your, 2 of them are mad at this one, or they're all mad at you.
Right.
You're constantly fucking putting out a fire, and you don't have time to.
All women are the damn same. It doesn't matter what you find. They're all once that thing clicks in their brain, then they're good. Somebody's fighting.
And you're going to want to high five that shit. Let's talk about
We
some
love the
things
women.
that,
We love the women.
We love them.
But we're-
First of all, we love them.
First of all,
women's lives matter.
everybody's lives matter, but we love women. We respect women,
Right.
But they're fucking batshit crazy.
Sure.
Amen.
High five that shit. All right. Let's talk about some things that happened in 2014. June 9th of that year, Laverne Cox, this might be good for Blake, becomes the first transgender person to appear on the cover of Time magazine. Magazines are still a thing.
Back then, I guess
that's
why I didn't say it, because they were then, but they're not now.
You got it.
Orange is the new black. Laverne Cox.
You know, I used to live in a building.
Which one is that?
This is the one that's a man
The one that's
who was born a man.
No,
Which-
I don't know if
she did the hair.
right.
She was a hairdresser.
She's like the tall
Tall,
black.
blonde.
No?
black lady.
Yeah, she's
Black
black.
lady.
I don't.
She's trans. I mean, when she's made up and look like what she's not a bad looking woman.
I don't think I ever paid attention to Orange Is the New Black enough. I know there was a trans on
Wentworth?
Wentworth.
Yeah, I never saw. I only saw that one.
She
episode.
died.
Laverne. Her character got out of prison and.
Oh, and Orange is the New
Black,
Black. You know, I used to live in an apartment building, and there was a guy named Kevin, and there he was the New Black.
Okay.
I don't know.
Kevin is the New Black.
I'm not familiar with that show. I don't know.
Be a new show. Kevin is the New Black.
June 14th, the Catholic Church removes restrictions on clerical marriage in Eastern Catholic churches.
Well, of course, you subdue these guys' sexual urges for so long, they can't have sex. And then they start diddle-piddling little kids, and then they're like, "Oh, well, how do we fix this so this doesn't happen anymore?" You're like, "Oh, okay, you can get married now." Well, now I'm married to somebody, and I'm diddling somebody else's kid.
I'm in the car as a kid, long road trip. Daddy, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Is what your eyes you turning yellow? That's what he would say. Well, I tell you what, some of these Catholic priests, man, they're crying cum. They got jism bursting out of their eye sockets. They need to ejaculate so bad, you know.
Good title for the
I
episode.
was crying, come when I met you.
Now I'm dying because I got busted.
I think Steven Tyler is accidentally transgender. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, whoops. Oh, shit.
Whoops.
If you put him and Caitlyn Jenner next to each other, like which one really looks more like a woman?
Which one should go in Time magazine?
Neither one of
The
them.
guy from Aerosmith, right?
June 19th, Felipe VI becomes King of Spain upon the abdication of his father, Juan Carlos I.
If you are born into royalty, congratulations. It's hard to get into royalty. It's royally hard to get into royalty if you're not born into it.
Nice save.
I think then that's why people don't like it as much because we couldn't go to like royalty school.
It's the American dream, right? To be able to take yourself by your bootstraps, elevate yourself to the top level, right? But you can't do that in some of these countries where it is in your blood, right?
Your grandma is famously British.
Famously, yeah.
And
She was on
Would you say
British
that-
magazine.
She was, yeah. She was the transgender lady on Time magazine.
you would say that their what they have over there is just a ruse, right?
Yeah, and I don't know what that's like in any country that does have a monarchy. I don't know if it is really all just figureheads anymore, or if this Felipe VI.
The queen really has no say, right?
Right.
She's just
Figurehead.
a figurehead.
So I don't know if that's the same thing in Spain there, where Felipe the Sixth is just a figurehead who shows up at parades and
I'm Felipe the Sixth. I am. I should have done it in Spanish. Espanol.
I know you can roll your R's pretty well.
Oh
right?
yeah, ruffles have ridges.
I love that ruffles and ridges. Neither one of those words are Spanish.
No, but you can roll your R's if you say.
You absolutely can.
Ruffles have ridges.
Enrique.
Suave.
Did you guys know that Samantha Fox is gay? She got married.
What?
Which one's that? Oh,
The one that was super hot when we were
Yeah.
kids?
Touch me now. I want to feel your body, your heartbeat next to mine.
I want to have some fun.
Move my body all night long.
She was so hot.
She was a smoke show, and
So hot.
I saw on the interwebs today that she married her girlfriend, which
gay lady?
was great.
oh, good for her.
I saw her at the fair,
Did
the
you?
Peoria Fair,
Heart of Illinois.
Heart of Illinois Fair, and I was in the front.
Come to the fair, the heart of Illinois. Everything's there.
But not this year because of COVID.
Yeah. Canton is still having their fireworks.
I'll be there.
I guarantee you, everybody and their brother is gonna, because I think everybody else has shut it down.
You know what? Give me a reason to go to Canton.
Give me just one reason.
Scott, why did we choose to watch Delirium?
3 reasons. It's free.
Oh yeah,
We were able to get it from the internet,
you bet.
and it was a pilot that was one and done.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. So you're probably asking yourself, where can I find the entire episode of Delirium? You You can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in your show notes, or... What's that?
I don't know. That
Stop
voice
that.
sounds familiar.
Download the app from Daily Motion. Scott?
And check out all the commotion.
Yeah, that's right.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff.
Boy, this holder you made for the tablet's working great.
Is it really, or are you just being sarcastic?
No, I wanted to mention it on the show that you built it out of wood. You're a classic woodsman now, right?
Yeah, I'm no offerman, but...
Summary of the pilot. Set in a world where love is deemed illegal and can be eradicated with a special procedure. With 95 days to go until her scheduled treatment, Lena Holloway does the unthinkable. She falls in love. Thoughts?
I'll
Give me your
give
thoughts.
I'll give that. You go ahead and grade it first, then
I'll give that an A.
Oh,
a B plus.
okay.
Yeah.
He's a tough customer, Scott.
Yes, but that's pretty spot on. That's pretty much what I watched.
That's pretty much the gist of it. Parents are pissed, but the kids love it.
Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is where Jason has scoured the internet to find facts about this show that you may not know. Please don't share your opinions with anyone else around you or behind you or in a different 6 feet away from you. Don't taint someone else's experience. Take these facts, absorb them, and live with them. That's the rule.
You know they say 10 feet is the new 6 feet.
Really?
I used to live in an apartment building, and a guy named Kevin moved in, and Kevin was the new 6 feet. Delirium is a dystopian young adult novel written by Lauren Oliver, published on January 1st, 2011 by HarperCollins, about a young girl, Lena Holloway, who falls in love in a society where love is seen as a disease. The novel...
Love is a social disease.
Who sings that? Is that Elvis?
No, that was...
Elvis Costello?
Yeah, was it Elvis Costello?
It was one of those 90s,
Elvis
rock
Costello.
band, hair bands.
Yeah. Well, you think about that for a while.
Hey, Google, who sang Love? Oh, Bon Jovi. Never mind.
Uncle Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
The novel's the first part of a trilogy, followed by a pandemonium. What is that? Is that Eli?
No, he's not here.
Oh, it's the Alexa's. The Google's down there.
Oh.
It's Google Home's down here.
We activated the Google Home. I thought it was maybe a damn dirty ghost.
You
Fox?
damn dirty ghost. Get out of here.
Who's that?
Where's the sage? Get the sage out.
Oh, you damn dirty ghost.
Oh.
Fox ordered a television pilot based on Delirium, which they later passed on.
Oh.
Fact.
You order it, then you go,
You know what? I send it back. In February 2013, Emma Roberts was cast as Lena, and Greg Sulkin was cast as the role of Julian Feynman, one of Lena's love interests, but was changed to be the love interest of her best friend, Hannah Tate, for the show. On February 25th, 2013, Darren Kagazoff was cast as Alex Sheaths, the male lead, and Lena's main love interest. Fact. Karen Usher from Prison Break penned the pilot with Peter Chernin and Catherine Pope as executive producers. Fact.
These are some, not deep dive facts. These are stuff probably found pretty easy, right?
Why don't you relax?
Fact or crap?
Hey, fact, you need to relax.
I can't dispute it because he said it during Interesting Facts.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can suck on this. Filming for the pilot ended April 6, 2013, according to a tweet from the director, Rodrigo Garcia.
Rodrigo
Oh,
Garcia.
those R's be rolling, baby.
Keep rolling.
The pilot premiered on Hulu on June 20th, 2014, and was available for a limited time only. Fact.
Oh, wow. So this is 6 years ago there was Hulu. It's kind of hard. You don't think about it, but that's 6 years ago.
And it was a Hulu exclusive.
I think it was.
It's exclusive?
I think they picked it up to just kind of see if it got any kind of traction at all there, which is smart. Why not? Throw it on there. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne Woodley was a fan cast for the role of Lena Holloway. So people loved the book, got behind it, and said, we would like to see this actress portray the protagonist. Cheyenne Woodley, she was like The Fault in Our Stars, I think. She was the lead in that.
Okay.
Young teen drama shit. Goofs, after being bitten by a police dog, Lena shows no sign of injuries. Interesting facts over.
Okay. Great job.
I appreciate that. I feel like you were bad-mouthing me earlier, but then you went
not at all.
You went on
No.
to praise me.
I think what I like to do is I like to push you to your limits and really get the most creative I can get out of you.
Then, in the immortal words of Moby, he wants to praise you like he should.
Very good.
I want to praise you like I should.
Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Wonderful.
That was actually really good.
I am so happy with
Like
that.
at the end, I was like, we are hitting this, but I'm gonna run out of breath.
So what we do is we take a look at the writers, the directors, producers, creators, then the actors from the pilot in which we're speaking, and we say, hey, greetings from Couch Pilots Podcast. We talk about shows that had only one episode. Next up for us is Delirium. We're excited to watch it, and we're wondering if you had any fun or interesting info you'd want to share. Thanks! I hope to hear from you.
Soon.
I hope to hear from you soon.
Next up for us is Dog Police.
Oh boy, I love Dog Police. Here's a fellow who was in the show. His name was Link Hand. I think he was one of the police officers. And he says it was a fun experience, just way too quick. I wish there would have been more, and would have loved to have been a part of it. I said, hey, thanks for responding. It's definitely an interesting idea for a series, and had some star power behind it. Do you happen to know why it didn't get picked up? He says, no. I was way too far down the list in the project to know anything. Ha ha ha. I said, no problem. Appreciate you replying. Thanks again, and continued success to you, sir.
Great, thank you very much, Link.
And he also says thank you very much.
Did you do that to the microphone?
He didn't do that, but I thank you and I honor you. What he did is he said thank you very much, and then he gave me the emoji hands, like he's like bowing to me. Like,
Nice.
So
You have a lot of authority on Twitter.
I do. I carry a big stick. Next is a fellow goes by the name of Corey Reynolds, and he was the African American gentleman who was in charge of the resistance.
Ah, yes.
So love is illegal, but there was a resistance out there, and this man
is a battlefield.
Nice.
I
That's
love
why he's got a He should have a karaoke show.
He does.
Oh,
He does. He's done like 130 episodes of it.
my bad. Has it been that many? Mm-hmm. So you've been to my house like 70 times.
Probably more than that. Corey Reynolds responds, wow, you guys podcast about shows that weren't picked up? DM me. And then he sent me an emoji of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will Smith...
That was our first like emoji. That was like the first emoji we've gotten.
He said, won't you please slide into my DMs? And so I did head first. But he also sent a GIF with that. It was for Will Smith as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he's dressed as a nerd and like looking interested, and it was funny.
So
And
basically, he's telling you, I've been in a lot of pilots.
I think that's what he's saying.
I can
DM
talk to
me.
you for days
About pilots.
And you know what? He did not, because I sent him something in the DMs and he did not respond.
Oh,
Which,
well, why would somebody invite you into their DMs but then not DM you back?
I cannot begin to give you a response to that. I have no idea. We'll follow it up, though, with another lady who was an actress in the show. Her name is Mel McComb. And it's said fast, it sounds like one word, Mel McComb.
Mel McComb.
But it's not. It's two words. And Mel says, hey, happy to answer questions. So funny you're doing Delirium. I honestly forgot about that pilot. DM me. Two people in a row within a matter of minutes saying, won't you please DM me? So I did. And
Because you didn't let the bad experience of the first one.
I'm not going to let
hinder
it
you.
sour me. They say one bad apple can ruin a bunch. Hey, not for this pilot.
Ah, nice.
So we went back and forth a little bit in the DMs, and we decided, you know what? Let's just talk to Mel on the phone, and we'll do that right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for contacting me.
Yeah, no problem. My name is Jason. I'm here with my my co-pilot, as it were. His name is Blake. We've been doing this show for about 5 years, and we've done about 200...
Hello, Mel.
Hey,
We've
how's it going?
we've done about 200 and almost 40 episodes at this point of...
Good God.
It's been quite a bit of television shows that only had one episode, and we always like to reach out to folks who are involved in the shows and say, you know, do you have anything that you remember about it, or anything that you would like to share. And sometimes people, as thankfully you did, reach back and say, yeah. So I appreciate you calling.
Did you? Yeah, of course. Thanks for being cool about the timing. Did you get in touch with anyone else? Were you able to contact people from the show?
We did get a couple responses. Actually, let me pull. Corey Reynolds. Does that name ring a bell?
No, I didn't work with Corey Reynolds. No.
Okay, he was for with Delirium. There was like a resistance team that's kind of against this whole cure that the show was about, and he was the leader of that group. And I talked to him briefly. And then who else? Wasn't there someone
Link
else?
Hand.
Link Hand. Very good. He was someone else that I talked to, just very briefly. But yeah, that's
okay.
So a couple of people from Delirium. I appreciate anyone who responds. So yeah.
Yeah.
We won't take up much of your time, Mel. If you got a few minutes, I got a couple of questions for you about the program.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well,
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Just unrelated to the program, you are in LA, is that right?
I'm in Los Angeles, yes.
Okay. How are things out there, just like pandemic-wise? Are things opening back up?
Slowly. I mean, I think at least it's my impression that the protest kind of just made everyone not concerned with social distancing.
Right.
And I don't want that to sound like I'm not in favor of the protest. I went to a protest. I'm very passionate about it. But yeah, I think everything was closed. I was just at Larchmont earlier today, and virtually almost everything was open. So it's definitely like things are ramping up. I think people are just kind of like not, from a social standpoint, from like a government approval standpoint, I'm not sure, but from people who are just taking initiative to step outside, it's changed rapidly since last weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how they said, we're entering phase 3, and I've never heard of phase 3 before this pandemic, but they said now phase 3, you can be outside, you can fraternize outdoors at restaurants and bars and what have you, but then that aligns so perfectly with all this protest. You're right, people really aren't social distancing like they probably should be, but my God, is there a better cause to be out there protesting for than this?
It's just social distancing went out the window. I think everyone was really trying to be responsible. I know I was, and then once the protest happened, I just I don't care. I'm just going to go out and do it. This is a more important thing. It's very strange. Very interesting. It
is a weird timing of sorts. You said you were at a protest yourself. I was at one locally this weekend for about an hour and a half. There was a silent march in downtown Peoria, where I'm from. Did you guys have speakers at your protest?
Oh, yeah. But it's just a lot of different moments. There's marching, and then there's standing, and then there's kneeling, and then there's people with speakerphones, and it's just different every time. Actually, I think a protest is walking by right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm in downtown LA. I live in downtown LA.
Okay.
So I can hear it out my door.
Yeah, such a massive population. I imagine that stuff's going on probably daily there. Where I live, it's a smaller community, and it's about once or twice a week people are getting together around local courthouses and marching and having similar speeches. But yeah, there are millions and millions of people out there. I imagine it's happening all the time.
Yeah, it's been happening every day. It's been happening every day. So it's great.
Well, cool. That's awesome that you're involved with that. I just wanted to there's a timestamp on this show, and people are kind of interested in what's going on in general. So I thought I'd ask about that. But we'll turn it we'll turn the conversation towards Delirium, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mel here, Blake, has been on popular TV shows such as
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, that's right, and Justified on FX. That was a really popular program. How did you land the role of Janice on Delirium?
There is actually kind of a funny story around that. The first thing is that it's not interesting at all in terms of the casting process. I had an agent. I had the audition, but what was and so it's just, I don't know, when I don't act anymore, but when I used to, I would have several auditions a week, and so this was just one of the many I had. And but the funny interesting fun fact behind the scenes thing about it is that I ran into my ex-boyfriend at the audition who I had lived with, and he played that part opposite me. Was it Billy? Was that the name Billy? Or who? There was I should look it up, but
So he got the role too.
He got the role too. We both were both at the audition.
And
it
the
was-
show's about
that
not
was
being
the-
in love.
And the producer, and by the way, like later we found out that we told the producers on set, like, you know, we used to date, we lived together, and the producers were like, we watched your tapes individually and we had no idea.
Wow.
Like, we just cast you guys. So that is like, of all the things that are just so boring and mundane and technical about auditioning and getting these parts, that was so hilarious to us.
Wow, that is funny.
I think we had just broken up. I think it was maybe like, I don't know, it'd been like a month or two, and then our trailers were next to each other, and but yeah, we ran into each other at the audition. I gave him a ride home.
Do you think it was just complete happenstance, or do you think the producers and the casting said, you know what, I feel like there could be some chemistry between these two characters?
Yeah, I think so. God, I just can't. It was totally like that. Because that's so. You know, we can get into that later. I want to like answer your question, which was like, how did I get the part? Yeah, I got sent on the audition, and I read for it. I was put on tape, and then the producers cast me off the tape right away. Same with my ex, and the two parts opposite to each other. It was supposed to have a connection. So yeah, I don't know. It was just so random.
Wow,
I don't know how they could have even picked up on that. Yeah.
Wow, of all the quite a coincidence. Were you familiar with? Obviously, I'm sure you know that these are based on books. There was 3 books written by, I think it was Lord Oliver, and this first one, Delirium, is basically what the pilot is about. Were you familiar with any of the books, or were you familiar with them at all?
No, I mean, when you get an audition, you get a breakdown in your email, and it will say like, this is based on books. And so yeah, I going into the audition, I checked out the books, but I didn't read them because it wasn't for a significant part. So I just looked into it, and I'm like, oh, it's a little dystopian novel kind of thing. And actually, again, funny enough, when I ran into my ex, he was like, do you even know what this is about? I haven't been paying attention. And then I filled him in. I'm like, yeah, it's like dystopian.
Why did you help him out? Why did you help him out?
Yeah, why did you help your ex-boyfriend out?
Well, to be honest, I felt sorry for him.
Okay.
But, yeah. But no, we were fine. We were on good terms, and we still are.
Good.
But,
That's good.
Yeah, but I was just like, so I was, and I got more familiar with the books when I booked it, and I looked into it, and pretty much got fully familiar with the story, and, you know, figured out who the cast was, and got excited to shoot it.
Well, very cool. Do you feel like if the show had gone forward, that you would have been in more episodes? Would Janice, do you think, have a storyline eventually, or play a role in future episodes?
No, not at all.
No?
It was supposed to be, not at all. I mean, yeah, I definitely don't think so. It was supposed to be my scene was, it was like a 4-page, which would like equate to 4 minutes on the screen. It was supposed to be this propaganda video, because I remember in the books, like, romantic connection and love is like supposed to be translates to delirium, right?
Right.
That's how it went.
Yes.
Right. So it was supposed to be this like propaganda video with poor little Janice. It was a demonstration propaganda video that Emma Roberts was supposed to watch in school or something.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
my character, yeah. So it was like this narration, old school kind of thing. Like, it was supposed to show Janice that, like, at school, meeting a guy, falling in love, and then just being completely, you know, her whole life being torn apart, kind of Splendor in the Grass style, like at the consequences of falling in love. And this like really, really well plotted out, funny scene that was just in a vacuum. So no, I don't think Janice would have ever made an appearance.
Okay.
After that.
So sometimes you look at a show like Law and Order SVU. It's been on for 15 years or whatever, and you start looking through the people who've been on the show, and they're like, oh, they were on in 2008, and then they were on in 2012, and then they keep popping up, but as different characters because they're smaller roles and it's few and far between. I didn't know if maybe they could have you back in some capacity, maybe not necessarily in that same role as the person on like that video, but maybe someone else in that Delirium universe.
Yeah, the fun fact about Law and Order is like they call it actors welfare in NYC in New York. They call it like actors welfare because you can just always get a job on Law and Order out there. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've been actually rewatching Twilight Zone episodes, the old school ones.
Sure, yeah.
And they always recycled actors.
Yeah.
But usually these network shows, they don't do that. I've only seen it happen a few times, and it's usually really subtle. So it's really doubtful I would have ever been called to like do something else on the show.
Well, it's funny you mentioned kind of some of the similar videos that you would have seen, because when we were recording the episode, we were talking about how we liken that PSA or whatever that video was talking about Delirium during that school as when we were in like grade school watching videos about like puberty and something like that. And it rings true in the fact that, they kind of address the fact that there's a lot of hormones and stuff raging. And these are the things you need to kind of say, it's normal. But with the Delirium universe, they're kind of saying, these are the things we need to fight against. So I thought that was kind of a funny way to relate to the show and kind of use our own experiences.
Yeah, they used it because it's been used. These videos are, I remember the intention going into it was to make it as tacky as possible, right. And as like, just very heavy-handed, and it was really fun to shoot. It was actually exhausting, and though it was like a really long day we shot.
But the actors that did those puberty videos that we watched in health class probably felt the same way.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, did you ever end up seeing the finished project? Not only the video that you shot, but just the pilot as a whole. Did you end up getting to see the whole thing?
Yeah, I did. I knew someone who was on it, and the thing about, I don't know if you said you've done so many episodes, so you talk to actors often. I don't know if actors have ever talked about how badly they want tape for their reels, like how seriously important it is when you're trying to pursue a career in acting. It's like, I need tape. I need footage of my work so that I can send it to casting directors. So, when I did this, and I didn't know what the finished product would be, but I was just like, I have got to get that tape because that's a Fox pilot starring Emma Roberts, based on a book. Like, that's going to be great footage for me. I've got to get my hands on it. And I just couldn't. Like, that's the thing. You it's really hard to get your hands on it. I tried to get my manager to get it. I tried to get my agent to get their hands on it. And so finally, when it didn't get picked up and the whole project kind of died, somehow someone else on the job who I kept in touch with, he finally said, hey, I got this pilot. I got it like pirated or something. And so I did get to see it. And it was funny because the whole anticipation of that scene that we shot, the like several scenes that me and my ex were supposed to be in, it like didn't even turn out that way on the pilot. I think you see us for 2 seconds in the pilot on the TV screen, like in the distance, and everything was cut, and we just laughed about it. We're like, wow, like
all that work.
All that work. It's like, I guess that tape didn't go anywhere. Like, I guess there's no footage to show anyone. Okay.
It is pretty quick, yeah. In that classroom scene, it's the teacher says something, you're seeing a few seconds, and then it pans over to Emma Roberts and her friend there for like, it's like a 2-minute scene altogether, and yeah, it's just right at the beginning.
Yeah, and the script, it was just completely different, and it was going to be like a whole 4 minutes of the show playing out this propaganda video. But, again, that's just like, that's how it is with movies or shows. Like, I don't know if you've heard this, but people say you make 3 movies: the one you write, the one you shoot, and the one you edit.
Right.
And very much like that. I was like, okay, goodbye. Like,
Does it get frustrating when you put so much effort and time into, like a scene that's supposed to be 4 minutes, and then when you watch the finished product, it's 10 seconds. I mean, is that frustrating as an actor, or are you kind of just used to it?
I think it's really frustrating as an actor. For me, I always was a little different. I was always a little bit weird about acting in general. Really not sure if I ever wanted to fully do it. And so I got, I would get anxiety kind of thinking how much screen time I'd have. Like, the less screen time I had, the better. I was kind of more happy. But for other actors, yeah, like, I just know for a fact through all my actor friends, like, it's infuriating to not get that screen time and to not get that tape, not get that footage, not get, and a lot of actors, they want to be seen. Like, they want that. And so for me, I was just kind of like, well, that's not doing me any favors, not
Right.
Having that. But it wasn't a kick to the teeth the way that it is for others, because they want that screen time.
Right.
And so it sucks. It really does.
Do you see one of the things that I mentioned in this this pilot is the correlation between, this is 2014, but like Handmaid's Tale, the dystopian future. Do you kind of see a resemblance between this and like Handmaid's Tale in regards to, there's the DFA and all this stuff? Do you see now that there's a correlation between the two?
Sure, yeah.
But maybe
absolutely.
more on like a teen version, but like, as opposed to, the demographic for Handmaid's Tale. I 10 minutes into it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a teen version of Handmaid's Tale.
Sure, I think so. I mean, yeah, there's a lot more rape and murder in Handmaid's Tale, but like much more terrifying content. But yeah, it's like training wheels into being complete subordination
Right.
to your government. But yeah, of course, I definitely see like the common thread. I think Emma Roberts is like a really good actress, and I think like I'm personally glad she was able to do other things and not get stuck on Delirium. Like, no offense to the show, but I just think that was just such a kind of almost like a Doris Day role for her.
Yeah.
And she's been able to go on and do some really great things now and find her rhythm. And so I'm glad she just didn't get stuck there.
That's a good
If
note.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking. I do a lot of scouring when preparing for the show. I noticed you were in a movie, Mark Wahlberg movie called The Gambler, and that had a lot of like heavy hitter A-listers. And I was kind of curious, as someone not in the industry at all, what are some of the differences that you find when you were working as an actress between working for like network or cable television episodes versus working for like a major motion film?
It's a really good question, and there's definitely definitive differences. Like, for example, Justified is by far, it was my first acting job, and it's my favorite acting job forever. And that was cable, and it was so cool. Like, Tim Oliphant, who's the star, and also, exec producer, it was much more intimate. It felt a lot more artistic. It kind of almost felt like rehearsal for like a play.
Okay.
It was just so cool. I mean, it was all day for like, I had a small part in it, but we shot all day from morning to night. And then it was over, and it was the coolest thing ever. And then, in contrast, when I did Grey's Anatomy, it was like bada bing, bada boom, sign in, sign out, thanks, that's a wrap. It was so, everything was, they'd been doing it for so long. It was just this well-oiled machine, just going through it.
And you kind of lose that intimacy, you think?
Totally. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It was almost like doing a pizza delivery. Like, it's no intimacy, no getting to know anyone. it was just in and out. So impersonal and not rude. Everyone was lovely and fine. There was no issues whatsoever. But they've just been doing it for so long, and that's that's network. And then with the Gambler major motion picture that was Paramount, we shot downtown. I guess that's the most Hollywood in like if you have an idea of like, I'm going to go be in a movie, it definitely feels like you're making a movie. If you're working for like a major studio like that, there's just everywhere you look is just big budget. The trailers, the makeup artists are great. The food, the craft services is just insane. I mean, you can have anything you want. You've got so many PAs. You've got a PA to put a jacket on you if you're cold, to take it off you if you're hot. You're getting mic'd up. I mean, it's very Hollywood, And then, of course, indies is like, indies are just a whole nother thing. Like, it's like stopping for gas. I don't know.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that because when I was looking around, and obviously IMDb is something that is a reference tool for us often, I noticed that you are not only a writer and director, but also a producer for an upcoming project called Dust. Is there anything you can tell us about that project?
Yeah, totally. I don't know why it says upcoming. I made a short film. I produced it. I wrote it. I directed it. I produced it because I used my money. I saved my money, and I did this short film. And I submitted it to some festivals. It didn't get in anywhere, and that was it. I think that's pretty much it. It's nothing special at all. IMDb sometimes, it makes things seem bigger than they are sometimes, I don't know.
Well,
Sorry, I know that's anticlimactic.
But
I mean,
I think that speaks to what you were saying about, an indie project and feeling like, would you say you likened it to stopping at a gas station versus all the glitz and glamour of people putting jackets on and off of you, right?
Sure, yeah. And, those indie films are usually the most fun, though, because everything is a little bit informal. And, I mean, I had a blast on some indie films. It's usually on location somewhere. Usually, like, a fun fact is, like, if you see these locations on indie films and you're like, why did they go to Pismo Beach, California? It's usually because a producer or a director has family out there, and you can stay in their house, and the community will help you,
right.
And they can land a location. So that's why you usually wind up in random places in the country to do indies, and it's fun.
It's kind of like an indie band. Like there, an independent band is touring around, and we're gonna play in Seattle because my cousin lives there, and we can crash there for a couple days.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally like that, and so that's kind of one of the demystifying things about indies. You're like, probably because they have family there,
right?
So it's just very funny
how
those details kick in.
Where can people see Dust? Is that available out there? Is that on like a website or YouTube or anything?
That's so sweet of you to ask. I haven't put it out there. If I'm being honest, I was just really. It was my first thing that I ever did, and I just don't think anyone thought it was very good. So I got embarrassed, and I just never really put it out there.
No way. I mean,
I know.
No, don't be like that. I mean, your ex-boyfriend wasn't in it, so you got to put it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to find a way to just like get over myself and just like put it out there. But yeah, I don't know. People call it first short problem. It's like when it's your first short, you're just like have a lot of issues around it.
You probably learned quite a bit having all those mantles of writer, director, producer. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. And even if it is just a fun, small little indie project, I mean, you probably have a lot of skin in the game. You said you put up your own money for it. It's you wrote it. It's your idea. It's probably your child, right? And I can understand being a little apprehensive of putting it out there. But if you ever decide you do want to, please let us know. We'd be happy to share any links or check it out ourselves to watch it. that's awesome that you did that yourself.
That's sweet. Yeah, thanks. And that kind of is what led me to not really want to act anymore. I ended up just, as I was doing it, I had no, there was just no envy for the actress in front of the camera. She was doing such a good job, and I just thought, man, I really don't envy her. Like, I'm so over being in front of the camera now. Like, and I think that was kind of the catalyst for me quitting acting, at least pursuing it.
It's totally understandable. You hear all the time. I'm just a Midwest country bumpkin, but we hear all the time how that the city will chew you up and spit you out, and you seem to be completely positive and have great experiences, and that's awesome that you're keeping such a great attitude about it. I really do appreciate the time you took to speak with us today, not only about Delirium, but just kind of the industry in general, as well as Dust. Is there anything else by chance that you're working on that you'd like to talk about or promote?
Well, the only thing I can say is that I'm actually, I decided to, the other reasons I wanted to quit is I wanted to, I wasn't able to go to school. I dropped out of high school when I was young because my parents lost their house in the housing crisis, and so I never went to college, and so I decided to go to community college the past few years to transfer, and I got into Columbia University. So
awesome.
I'm moving to New York in a few weeks to start school, and I'm planning on being a lawyer and trying to help people for the very things we've been protesting about. I'm hoping to maybe get an internship at NAACP or the ACLU, but that's what I want to do. I want to go out and be a lawyer and help people that have been hurt by police. So that's kind of my upcoming thing, but it's not anything to advertise because it's not like a TV thing.
No, but
so
still,
that's kind of what I've been doing.
No, that's awesome that you're, you started your career, you're doing acting, but your true passion was to help people and to have a voice for people. And that's you need to promote that. Just like Dust, you need to promote both of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always thought that acting would get me into college one day because I just come from a really small town and I didn't know much about college. And I thought acting kind of came to me, and I thought, well, if I keep acting, maybe I can get into college. And then I decided to stop waiting around for that and then just actually try.
You got to keep moving. Whatever you're doing and whatever you decide, you got to keep moving. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So congratulations on Columbia and seeing like Grey's Anatomy and Justified in this Project Dust that you held up yourself.
Put it out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. To me, you're a success. And I really do thank you for taking the time to chat with us. And yeah, we continue.
Yeah, you guys are so sweet.
Well, thank you. Continued success to you, and good luck in the future.
And if you ever see anything like a connection on IMDb where you're trying to get in touch with an actor and they worked on my project, just reach out. If for some reason it looks like I know them or something, just reach out to me and I can connect you guys. I don't know when that would happen, but Hollywood's small.
Okay, yeah, we won't forget your name. Thank you so much, Mel.
Yeah, thank you too. I'll talk to you soon, or maybe never, but we'll keep in touch on Twitter.
Take care and good luck to you.
Okay, no worries. Bye.
Bye. Holy cow, what a great interview. Mel, thank you so much for taking the time again.
Great to have people that were involved in the show on. So
I always love talking to people like that. That was wonderful. Let's go ahead and break down the pilot. Delirium. We'll put 10 minutes on the clock.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. Scott, you want to start us off?
I'm going to talk about what me and you just talked about. Starts off this. The first thing I noticed, even this is a little past that we talked about, the image is flipped, so it kind of messes with it.
Yes.
So we got a flipped image, but it starts off. Emma Roberts is with her sister, and actually it starts off with the thing in the neck, isn't it?
It's like
kind of tells a story of what's going on.
A little bit of a narration.
Love is a disease.
Yeah, and
there's a cure to the disease.
And there's cure is you get a shot.
Yeah.
In the neck
at age 18.
Age 18.
And then the shot makes there's no more heartbreaks. You no longer get heartbreaks.
No more heartbreak.
At a young age, you really are controlled a lot by your emotions. You're feeling a lot of these things for the first time, and these hormones will fuck you up. So, I mean, there is some sort of logic you can kind of make here, like,
Right.
oh, is this a good idea? But
And then they discuss censorship. That's a big part of it because music, movies, and stuff. They don't let these kids watch because they don't want them to get the seed.
It's a classic story. It's like Footloose. Footloose is the
everybody
same way.
Footloose, right?
A lot of shows are that
This
way.
is what-
Hell, even Running Man, same way.
This is what I noticed too.
The
is that
dance?
they said
No. The one where
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay.
The boys
saw
and
it.
girls don't fraternize at all. They
Right.
they grow up separately from each other, which makes me think: what about boys and girls in the same home? Mm-hmm. And it must be high times for the homosexuals, right? If you're a gay guy,
Oh, you're like I'm good, and the lesbian, you're like, pfft,
hell yeah, double down. And,
Double down.
and the girls who
I'm
maybe
just hanging
aren't
out with
gay,
my friend.
maybe like more inclined to experiment because they can't get to fellas.
and that's
Same with
actually
guys.
one of the things that this show doesn't talk about is that exact thing. How do they handle people that are of different?
That's seriously something
yeah.
I thought about, and they don't really
Love
address
is blind, my friend.
that. I agree.
And so what they do is they match people to get married, and so you go and you get interviewed, and you get matched with someone. It's kind of like an arranged marriage.
Yeah, her sister's sitting in the car telling her, "Don't talk about mom and dad." Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, so
blah,
she
blah,
obviously
blah.
has a past because
So
they're both.
Well,
Emma,
she's
Emma's
trying
saying
to
that
coach
she's
her.
ready.
She's trying to coach her
Emma's like,
sister.
I'm ready for this. I bring this on.
What is this though?
Match the
Interview.
The interview.
Yeah.
She wants to be matched. She doesn't want to be in love. But there's an officer there.
And he is a gentleman. His name is,
absolutely.
that's Alex,
His
right?
name's Alex, and he catches her eye, and you can tell right at that scene something's going to happen between these
And
two.
the name of the organization is the DFA.
The DFA.
Yeah.
And so we got to. So I'm going to play my hand right here.
Please.
The 10, 15, 20 minutes into this, I'm like, this has like a Handmaid's feel, like a Handmaid's Tale feel
Yeah.
to it. Like there is a controlled social and political status here.
It's a dystopian kind of feeling,
Very dystopian.
and it is
This
set.
is dystopia.
This is actually takes place in like 2090 in
Okay,
the
sure.
in the books. It really doesn't address
in
when
the
it's.
book. In the book.
Thank you.
In the book. And honestly, I didn't know until Interesting Facts that this was about a book, and so
Yeah.
that's interesting. So she's like 1 week from her 18th birthday. She gets matched, and we find out her dad had cancer and her mom committed suicide, or vice versa.
No, you're
I
right.
think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, and
They're
The
at
whole process gets stopped because the revolution.
They mentioned at the beginning there is a revolution happening outside all of these cities, the cities in which have these walls around them, and outside
the fence. They have a fence.
It's
It's
kind
just
of a
like
no
Donald
man's.
Trump. Can
Yes.
it's really scary how much this aligns.
It's like Garth Brooks says, no fences.
And you know what? I
he
know,
actually doesn't say that, but his album.
I think
title.
I think he says that on every track on that album. He sneaks that in.
I got no fans.
There it is.
No
see?
fences.
So they go. She goes to, and they're all the women are in white
Yes.
dresses.
Like they're all like
not the same kind of dress, but they're all completely white dresses.
yeah, they're like auditioning for their marriage that day.
Yeah, and I'm like, pan down. Are any of them wearing bobby socks? Pan down. And they didn't pan down. And then the guys are in black suits.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she's having the interview part, and all of a sudden the alarm goes off,
Yeah.
and there's sheep.
Yeah, they have stuff spray painted.
I think
on
it's
them.
kind of like a diversion.
Kind of like the sheeple. You're all sheeple. You're all falling for this fucking and this love thing.
But the resistance
Blah, blah,
breaks
blah.
in. I
Yeah.
think they're stealing some maybe tech information or whatever they're doing.
Sure.
And so her interview is cut short, and she's escorted out of there to safety. And then we move to the next scene where it's her and her friend Hannah, and they're jogging and they're talking about the arranged marriages and the wall. And then Lena's friend brings up like a co-ed party, and she says, "Hey, there's going to be boys there. There's going to be uncensored music." And Lena's kind of like,
sounds
don't
like
know.
trouble.
Yeah.
We're gonna do fucking Molly. We're gonna fucking rub on each other.
We're gonna have glow sticks. We're gonna be licking each other's foreheads
Our
by the time.
fucking pupils are gonna be bigger than fucking saucers.
Ooh, yeah. And then here in this next scene, we are introduced to Thomas Feynman, right?
Right, and he's a big head honcho in the DFA, right?
He's like maybe the guy who created the cure.
It is. Well, he was the one. If you remember in the beginning, there was a conference that was going on. Thomas Feynman's
What's a conference?
Thomas
Well, you know.
Feynman's son introduces his dad.
Yeah.
And I think he is the head of the whatever it's called.
And and Julian is his son. Am I
Yep.
correct? And so
All these kids that we meet are like 17, about ready to have.
Yeah, he's
this
got like a
procedure.
low blood count, low white blood cell count or something, and he can't
have the procedure
when
Nice.
on his 18th birthday.
High five that shit.
AIDS.
He has to wait like 3 or 4 months before he can do it.
Thomas, who's in charge of this whole program and who had maybe developed the cure, he's telling his son about a time that he fell in love and had the disease take over him.
Because his son like found his loot of memories and puts on headphones. And what do you know the name of the band that the song was playing when he put the headphones on?
That's later in the show, but that kid looked so confused when he was listening to
probably
music.
asleep.
And I was confused of how it intertwined with the show in any way, shape, or form. It was Cream.
Oh,
was
Cream?
it?
Okay.
It was Cream, and I was like, why did they choose this song? I mean, I understand it's like
Was
a
it in
70s
a white room with black curtains? Not
No, it
wasn't that
was
one?
it was.
I tell you what the sweet spot is with music on TV shows. A song that's recognizable, but just barely recognizable, so it costs less.
But
Yes.
but it didn't have anything to do with like love. I don't.
You're right,
I
you're
did,
right.
Well, I mean, it could have been during the it was during the hippie stuff. But I apologize for jumping ahead.
Spoiler alert, when we get to Turbulence, I'll tell you why I don't remember some of this.
All
Well, late that night, Lena she ends up going to the party, and she sees Alex, the guard who was at the facility earlier.
that saved her basically.
Yeah,
Alex,
and they chat a little bit, and Alex has the mark of someone who has had the procedure on his
Yes.
neck. It's like 3 little dots. It's like an injection.
It's like a weird. I mean, when they show it in the beginning,
It's a spider bite.
this motherfucker was this long, and they shove it through your neck. I'm like,
The needle.
it was this long. It's coming out the other side of your
It
fucking
goes
head,
all the way
buddy.
through your head. They squirt it, and it drips on your right shoulder, and enters from the left
You're
shoulder.
severing a fucking spine with this motherfucker.
The next day, and I believe it's the resistance. They're outside of the walls of the city, and they're meeting in the wilderness. And Alex is there, and they say, "Alex, you have been assigned to Lena. We need her just as much as she needs
and
us."
the reason why we need her because her father had developed the serum or
See?
her father had something to do, and her father had something to do with changing this all back to what
Okay.
Right,
like,
the way
you know,
it's-
back the way it should be.
way it's
And
supposed to
she had said that he died of cancer,
Right.
But they were talking about how they were going to use her to get him to come back, and so I was confused about that.
It didn't make sense to me. It makes a little bit more sense later down the line, but at the time I didn't know. The next scene, we're at the what appears to be the United States Capitol, and Thomas Feynman is there, and he's a bit of a lobbyist. He has his company, but he's kind of a lobbyist, and he's talking to Elise, and this is a lady who is, I think she's running for president.
Yep.
And basically what he's doing is he wants to make sure that he can work with her, and she's like not totally sure on what he's doing, but she wants his support and be endorsed by him.
Because there's so many people that are
So-
she was running for the presidency of the United States, so she's lump
In her head.
in her head.
Very good.
And hey, I mean, we had in 2016. For 2014? Did we know that Hillary Clinton was going to run for president at one time?
No.
There's
Had no idea.
so many spooky things here. And then when Oprah runs, this is going to be like Pegasus right here.
It's just like Nostradamus predicting the future.
Mm-hmm.
At school, then Lena, who is still in school, her friend Hannah, she says, "Hey, you want to go to another party at that same location?"
Yeah, she is all about She's all about the Molly. You know, she's all about the
We're gonna
glow-
pop some more Molly.
Lena is
We're
like,
gonna do some MDMA.
"Yeah, we're gonna see the devil." Lena's like, "No, I don't think we should. I'm not gonna do that. It's too much."
But she goes to the party.
She does not
She
go.
wants to-
No, this
she
okay.
doesn't go to this one.
No,
No,
this one she doesn't go to.
and they're at school and they're watching a video like we would watch a video about like sex education, but they're watching it about the disease. It's a Delirium nervosa. I
Down
believe
with
is
the
what it's called.
sickness, as what Kevin sung a couple weeks
Listen
ago.
to karaoke, Biggie, won't you please?
The schoolgirl outfits are great on this too, by the way.
No comment. Lena's on the boardwalk where Alex sees her very regularly.
Under the boardwalk.
We'll be falling in love.
Under the boardwalk.
We'll be having some fun.
Under the boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
Ah, sorry, I missed it.
So she is in her schoolgirl outfit, and then her and Alex, they go for a little bit of a walk, right?
And Alex shows up.
A little walkabout.
Like Alex shows up everywhere she's at.
Yeah, he's been assigned to her.
Well, I know, but it's just like most girls like that think that love is a disease, and this guy keeps following them around. You think she'd be like, no.
Love is a battlefield.
Thank you very much.
That's true, too.
They kiss. They kiss.
And I saw that, and I was like, I bet that's probably Lena's first kiss.
Prince wasn't playing in the background.
Kiss. So,
and he says, life without love isn't living.
amen to that.
Whatever.
What? Who cares?
Give a fuck.
Lena's saying, "Hey, my mom had the procedure, but I don't think it worked because she was totally in love with my dad, and that's why she committed suicide."
We'll get to this in turbulence.
And I tell you what, would you say when they were on the beach, her and Alex, they were frolicking, right?
Oh,
yeah.
There was some hands probably going up the skirt.
Oh my Lord! At home, Lena receives mail, and she
got
tosses
mail.
she tosses the envelope on the ground. Hey, Lena, fuck you.
Because she threw mail on the ground?
Yeah, because she threw the envelope on the ground. She was littering. She got matched with Brian Snarf.
Snarf.
Like zoinks! Brian Snarf is a nerd. He's a guy we only ever see his picture in an envelope, but she's been matched with him.
What, didn't Hannah get matched with some black guy? That was her picture.
We find out later in the show, she got matched with Elise's son. She's the lady running for president.
So she was fine. She was like, I'm
in to win.
I'm in royalty without being, into it.
I'm going to get fucking rich, bitch.
And so there's a flashback about this time of her old life and police and everything. And
whose old life? Lena's?
the main character, right?
Yeah.
About her mom and dad getting
Okay.
Yeah. And then I just wrote I was drinking, but I wrote party ! So I think maybe I'm behind.
You don't have to tell us you're drinking. You can just say, I was alive when I was watching this.
The police make the raid. Alex, the cop guy, saves her again. Uh-huh. Am I way far behind?
Well, I want to say that there is like, you are a little ahead.
Oh.
Well, anyway, okay. Well, I'll skip to the part where there was like a residential raid by the police, and basically a huge alarm and lights go off.
It's just like in Handmaid's Tale, like where they would have those alarms and like the whole fucking the whole city heard about it.
Yeah.
How have you not?
They pull people out of their homes basically and are searching them, and they pretty much like feel up Emma Roberts, and she's pretty much violated. And then she's like, okay, they're out there, they're doing it. This house party that they're having, it's not in some remote farmhouse somewhere. It's in a home in the area, so that she runs to that area 'cause she knows her friends there. She's like, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
The police raid it. She hides, and then yes, Alex finds her because he's part of this police, I guess.
He saves the day all the time. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you love him?
I love him at this point.
We find out Alex does not have he did not get the cure. It's like a tattoo. It's fake.
To make it look like he got the cure?
Yeah, because he's an informant.
Fuck the-
Informant.
Look
Look
smells like fish.
Look your boom boom down.
It's a great song. Fuck the police, right?
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
A young nigga got it bad because I'm brown. And there's the other colors, so police think they have the authority.
Kill a minority.
Fuck that shit, because I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge of gun to get beaten on. It's ridiculous that two white men are sitting here singing the song. But we grew up with it.
Yeah.
And now we have to censor the show because you dropped an N-bomb.
Well, no, I didn't drop the N-bomb. It's part of the song.
Oh,
to me,
okay.
that's different. If you're singing a song that has the word in it, you can sing the song.
Sing it.
Well, okay,
I can't walk up to a black person and say that word, but if I'm singing the song...
Well, let's split the difference. Let me ask you this. You're not going to walk up to a black guy and say the N-word.
No.
You'll hear the song and you'll sing along with it and say the N-word. What if that same black guy was in front of you? Would you sing the N-word in front of him?
That's a good call.
I think that's the test of whether or
Fuck
not
me,
you
right?
should... I'm just saying.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
No, I'm just saying think about it in that respect.
Sir.
Look, Blake, I'm with you, man. I'm always thinking the N-word all the time. I love the N-word. I think about it all the time. I say it all the time when I'm at home in the mirror. But would I say it in front of people or in front of a black guy? Absolutely not. I'm with you, man.
10 minutes is over. Alex gets shot.
No, Liam.
Lita jumps the fence, goes to the revolution. Roll the credits. Ta-da!
Okay, that's fine. We can skip that.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Boy, we did skip past a lot. That's fine, though, because...
I mean, this is what? How long is this?
It was 40, 45,
50,
50 minutes.
56?
yeah, something like that. It was, just under that.
56?
Just under that. So this part of the show, we say, hey, this didn't make it, obviously. That's why we're talking about it. It had only one episode, but why didn't it work? And here, Kelly Wu from Yahoo Entertainment
Kelly
says...
who?
Kelly Wu.
Woo!
Oh, Wu indeed. Am I right, guys?
She got a bicycle.
A best-selling young adult novel series set in a dystopian world. Adapt it for the screen and watch the magic happen, right? Wrong in the case of Fox's pilot for Delirium, based on Lauren Oliver's hit book trilogy. Last year, the network ordered a pilot, but when it came time to issue green lights, Fox ended up passing on it in favor of Sleepy Hollow and Almost Human. Here are 3 possible reasons why it may have been passed upon. It's too young for Fox.
Okay.
The casting isn't quite right. And the story may not work for television. Perhaps these YA, young adult, books are better off as movies. The pilot essentially covers the entirety of Oliver's first book. That's a lot of ground to cover in one episode.
Yes.
That's one person's take. She must have read all the books and then saw it.
And one of the things I said that was a problem is they kind of shot their wad because the one of the main characters gets shot and the other one hops over the fence.
Right.
Technically, at that time, she'd be saved or whatever. But I mean, I know a lot more stuff is going to happen. But you killed off one of the main characters in the first episode. That's she not going to all of a sudden fall in love with somebody else.
Who got killed off?
Did you check?
Alex?
Yeah, something
shot.
He
He's not
he
dead.
didn't die.
There's
though.
no way he's dead.
He might have got arrested.
Yeah, yeah.
He got shot.
Did this
Anybody that gets shot dies.
Did this happen? Did this come out in the time like of the Hunger Games kind of thing? Is that why they tried to push
Hunger.
this?
Sorry. Do it again.
Let's try it again. Hunger.
Yeah.
I was cold in the middle of a railroad track.
But yeah, it seems like they're trying to cash in on the young
100%.
adult novel.
Oh my God.
Twilight? Is this like a Twilight thing?
Yeah, like Twilight
yeah.
was popular, I think, around 2008, 2009.
Oh, okay.
And then a couple years after that was the Hunger Games. And there's been like Divergent was a series. Like there's
Harry
a
Potter,
yeah, all right.
Harriet Tubman Potter.
Harriet Tubman,
Lego movie.
the Lego Movie, right? Another good example. All these like young adult teen melodrama things. It was high times for those guys, right? Like you know what you got to do, right? You got to write 3 books.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, they'll make 3 movies and take that last book though, and they'll split into 2 movies, and you're gonna make so much money.
All about
Ooh yeah,
Money.
it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Is that right?
Yeah.
Money.
So that's what you're doing here. You're trying to cash in on a craze in Hollywood, ready to say, "Oh my God, what's the next hot young adult book?" What about you, Scott? Why don't you think Delirium worked out? Why did Fox pass?
I'm gonna agree with it. Too young for Fox.
Too young for Fox.
'Cause
Too young for Fox.
I don't see a bunch of early 20s, late teens sitting around on a Friday night watching a 56-minute. Or basically, this was going to be an hour-long show.
Going forward, I totally agree.
100%. Every episode was going to be an hour.
Absolutely.
Every one of them.
Yep.
Well, after commercials, 40. But
Sure.
like you said, I don't see a bunch of teenagers and tween and late teen. And the concept to me is too young. It's just too young. I don't get it. I mean,
Well, you obviously and you and I both are not the demographic here.
love is not something curable. So to even go down that path, because what bothered me, like I said earlier, okay, so you're trying to cure them of love,
Right.
but yet on the other hand, you're still matching them with somebody else to procreate. But once you start doing the you're going to fall in love any goddamn way.
So you think the act of having sex pushes people into
that
the feeling
kind
of
yeah,
love?
yeah, that kind of intimacy.
I think there is definitely something to that.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You can't tell me that the head of the DA or F and that blonde woman, DFA, and that blonde woman that he's married to produce that Julian kid don't love each other.
They probably do.
I think you can love each other in a respect love.
But it's still on that level. You're still connected to that person. Just like something. Okay, just say down the road that something happens between the two of them and they split up. There's still that heartbreak. There's still going to be that heartbreak there, whether you're cured of it or not.
Well,
Okay, I think there's something to that.
Yeah. Well, like with arranged marriages in other
They
countries,
still
and stuff.
exist.
They still exist.
And most of the time, they still end up falling in love with each other.
One out of every 7 people in the world is an Indian person. They have over 1 billion people over there, and they have arranged marriages.
And I don't think that it's the same type of. I don't think it's natural love.
The court, it's forced love for one. The court.
I've had a few of those in my life.
High five this.
The courting process is totally different in that situation.
Yeah, you don't have to.
So you don't have to because you know who you're marrying. You're getting paired up with this who you're going to marry. But the longer you live with that person and you're sticking your dick in them to procreate,
right,
you're
right.
still there's still that's you're still being
You don't have to.
you're still being intimate.
You
don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
That connection's still there.
It is very possible, and in my opinion, percentage wise, is because you're being intimate with someone doesn't necessarily constitute the intimacy doesn't necessarily constitute a type of love.
No, but if you're doing it, if you're married and you're producing kids and you're doing it all the time, then that's your
Out of 10 of these, out of the 10 DFA,
if I started having sex with the same girl every day, even though I wasn't in love,
who has sex with the same
know,
girl
well,
every day?
damn day.
every day, but you know what I'm saying, your same woman,
You're gonna like her because of that poontang.
you're gonna develop feelings.
Okay.
So I think there is something to that.
I could have sex with the same person every day and not love them. It's very possible.
I agree with both of those things. Yeah, I don't think either of those things are 100%. But
The concept's just too far fetched for it to be believable.
But it almost is not unlike what they do in India, right? They have arranged marriages. It's kind of a caste system where they say, hey, what economic level are you at? We're matching people.
How many goats do you have? How many chickens does your father have?
What kind of
how much land do you have?
Yeah, what kind of goat
All
dowry
boils
can
down
I
to
have?
money at that time.
So there's something to that where they're trying to match people based on their beliefs, their economic status, and where they are in the culture. Who fits the best? They're almost doing like a logical puzzle versus letting your emotions take control.
Because to be honest with you, our emotions lead us to make bad decisions more frequently than.
Well, just like earlier in the show when he was telling Julian about the love that he had for the woman, and then she cheated on him,
and then he busts the fuck out of the guy. He even says,
"Yeah, he said I beat the."
There's his good friend. He beat the hell out of.
I beat the hell out of my friend.
Fucked out of that guy.
That's what love did.
And then he punches his own fucking son. Yeah. That's how angry this guy is.
To take away these choices, though, to have these arranged marriages is to say that we are removing, in some aspect of your life, the ability to have free will. And,
right.
And,
I will choose free will.
And ultimately, people will die on that sword. The people want to have free will no matter what, and some people will die for that. And but who's to say what is right and wrong? I personally would like to be able to choose who I'm with versus being arranged, right? Matched with someone in a facility. Blake's on the fence.
But she was like pro, like this is I can't wait till it happens until she locked eyes with Alex.
Until he put his tongue in her mouth.
Well, the minute they locked eyes, she was done. The minute they locked eyes at that
for 17
interview,
years, this girl was groomed and was in her mind. She was like, "Yeah, this is what I want."
And kept separate from boys.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then boys turned to men.
Stop biting your nails with the bad impression. Bite mine.
Bite.
That's what she said. Bite mine. I'm like, yeah.
Ooh, I'll watch that video. I ain't gonna lie, I would watch the video.
We know what kind of videos you like. IMDb, Internet Movie Database, is a score 1 to 10. What do you think, Scott? People from around the world scored Delirium.
5.7.
And Blake, you know the answer because you're a cheater, right?
6.7.
It's a 6.7. That's exactly right. From 1,823
Wow. That's a
ratings.
This was
lot.
seen. Well, it was on Hulu, so it was seen.
You would assume that anyone who rates it has seen it, and
That was 1,000, over 1,000. That's a lot for some of the stuff we watch.
damn near 2,000. That is a lot, and I think it probably has a lot to do with the fact that it was available on Hulu.
Yeah.
And at this time, Hulu may have even been free. In the very beginning, Hulu was free.
Really?
Hulu was free in the beginning. You had to go into your computer though. They didn't have all the apps on the TVs and shit, so you had to go on your computer, and Hulu was free, and you had to watch commercials. And then you get Hulu Plus, is what it was called at the time.
Okay.
No commercials, but now there's just no thing. It's just
No
different
such
plans.
thing.
Yeah, it's just Hulu.
You get
now.
commercials no matter what.
Right.
Well, you can still pay for it, but it's all called Hulu, not Hulu Plus, and it's not. Anyway, critic reviews. TheReadingDate.com says, though the TV show takes liberties with the source book, I think the series has potential, and I'd like to see where the story was heading. Hope the TV powers that be give this pilot another look and perhaps slow down the story a bit so the viewers can connect more with the characters. I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, a lot happened really quickly.
When you're watching the Hunger Games, like the first movie,
Never seen them.
I saw the first one.
I saw the first one as a lady
enough
made
for
me
me.
watch it. I didn't care for it, and this is what I thought.
Was it worth it?
No, absolutely not. Let me work it. There's say it's a 2-hour film, right?
A 2-hour film.
A 2-hour film.
You don't know.
I would say that within those 2 hours, you covered the entirety of that book. Mm-hmm. We saw an hour, and they covered the first book. They said, right? There's something to that. Slow it down a little bit. Let's meet the characters. Let's introduce the ideas and really dig in. If this is going to be on a network, you're going to get 20 episodes a season. Why blow your load on the first whole movie and
Make it like
50 minutes?
24. Break it down to an hour of each day.
When did Jack Bauer on 24 ever take a shit? Was there ever like a 10-minute period? Because it's
Who
supposed to be in
takes
real
10
time.
minutes to take a shit?
Well, I know you
Shit,
take
I take
lightning
a-
fast shits.
It takes me like 45 fucking minutes.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
That's
Well, then how do you know? How does your body tell you have to go?
I just have to feel like I gotta go, and I go sit down, and I
Are you kidding me?
and I sit there.
You're
till
fucking
it's
with me
done.
right now.
No, I'm serious.
he just feels like he has to go.
So then why don't you go? I feel like I have to go. I got about 40 minutes before I have to go in there.
No. I'm saying it takes me that long to comfortably feel like I'm done.
Really?
Have you
Not
guys ever
40
used
Oh,
minutes.
so
but-
when you
not
sit,
40 minutes,
So
but at
when you
least.
sit down, you start to poop.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't finish for a long period of time.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
feel like
So you got more coming.
Gotta get it
I
all
understand.
out.
Here's some question for you.
Wonderful.
So like when you're wiping your butt, does it kind of stimulate you to poop more?
No.
You can't just create.
Me neither.
You can't. There's not like just like. You can't summon shit.
Well, once
It's-
I'm done-
No. I'm
It's
saying
in there or
like
it's not.
if you're pooping,
Right.
and then you go, okay, I think I'm done, and you wipe, and your anal
Say it. Your anal says.
your
I just feel like I got
Anal
shit.
says.
guys, let's play anal says. All right, anal says, touch your nose. Anal says, rub your ear. Now hit yourself.
Anal didn't say.
Anal didn't say.
Do you guys ever use those squatty potties? Basically,
I wish I had one. I think it would help me.
I wish I had a bidet.
a butt
Oh,
day?
my in-laws have a bidet, and at first I was like, that's fucking stupid. And then I used it, and I was like, oh, I love this. This is great.
I want a bidet.
Isn't the squatty potty just saying?
It's more of the natural way you're supposed to. We as a society,
Oh, great. Oh, yeah. Oh, please,
We shit
Blake,
wrong.
Blake, please tell me how I'm supposed to shit.
we
Supposed to have your feet up.
you're supposed to have your feet up. That's the natural position for your body to excruciate.
Face down, feet up.
You know
That's
what?
the
If
way
you're
I
gonna make
like
a
to
fucking
shit.
joke out of it, never mind.
This whole thing's a fucking joke.
That's the way I like
Life's
to
a
shit.
fucking joke.
I'm just saying, what's the difference between a squatty potty and just getting a few books from your library that you pretend to read and sticking them under your feet while you're taking a huge
Are you going
fucking
to sit
shit?
there and do that though? Are you going to go get books every time you got to take a shit?
I keep the
I
books in
can't do
there.
it.
Wrap them in a bag.
Can't do it.
Duct tape them.
Wrap them.
Boom.
Where's that drop? Can't do it.
I don't use that drop anymore.
Can't do it.
Movie date Andrew says we're still talking about the film Delirium.
Delirium.
I like the pilot okay, but I guess it was a little bit more futuristic, or I expected a little bit more futuristic gloss. Nifty personal gadgets, flying cars, floating touchscreen displays with my sci-fi TV. The show's modest production values made it seem more like a CW teen drama than the network blockbuster it needs to be. I also don't feel like the pilot did a satisfactory job of explaining what was so wrong with Love/Delirium. An orientation video a la the President Snow film in Hunger Games, if you guys have seen the film Hunger Games, I don't know, showing the potential dangers of romance would have helped a lot. Finally, a little more humor might have diffused the tendency towards the accidental self-parody after hearing real music. Julian whimpers, "It made me feel," and Thomas angrily retorts, "Now you know why we have laws." The exchange comes across as comical. To have characters acknowledge the absurdity of their situation would have made it easier to laugh along with them instead of at their expense. Maybe Netflix could pick this one
But
up.
it's not something funny. It's not funny at all. Like it shouldn't be something that's funny.
Yeah, you're right. But
What is coming out of your ear?
are you bleeding?
Yeah.
Should be coming out of his eye. Remember, see how big his eye was the other day?
You know that boy needs a squatty potty. What's happening back there? Is it a zit?
It's a long story.
It's a long story of why you're bleeding from behind your ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got the delirium shot.
Oh boy, is that what it is? Do you feel love anymore?
Have I ever? Never have I ever.
Viewer
You
reviews.
ever played that game? Never have I ever.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it right now. Never have I ever enjoyed doing a podcast. Viewer reviews: 10 out of 10 scars. Great pilot episode. 8 out of 10. Do I dare disturb the universe? The famous T.S. Eliot quote that is used throughout the program. 10 out of 10. Exceeded my expectations. 10 out of 10. Major case of cliffhanger. 2 out of 10. Waste of a good story and cast. 6 out of 10. In many ways, Delirium appears inspired by The Giver, but is more angled toward appealing to those who would like something Divergent style, so more young adult stuff. 1 out of 10, a far cry from the actual book. 2 out of 10, fucking crash test dummies over here. 8 out of 10, great pilot, bad
Once
guessing.
there was a shitty pilot.
Oh, I think you were gonna say shitty podcast. I was like, whoa, man, we had you on.
Watchable, a major disappointment. What just happened? Remember, this is a TV program, not a movie. Drying Pain is more interesting. Equilibrium with all feelings and none of the fighting.
I don't get that reference.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local
If you're ever listening to the Couch Pilots program and you hear 2 sets of beeps, it's because I pressed the wrong button.
The first.
And then I pressed the wrong button so hard that Blake started bleeding from his ears. Do you want to tell us what's going on or not?
Well, okay, real quick. I'll make it real quick.
Real quick.
I have a situation.
Here we go.
That's happened for a long time where I get pimples behind my ears. Mm-hmm. Okay, we all know why it happens. We don't need to discuss that. Puberty. Well, I usually pop them,
Right.
and everything's cool.
Sure.
Well, sometimes multiple ones become one big one, and then your mom comes over and pops it, and then she couldn't get it all out, and so now she actually asked me. She goes, "Do you have a razor blade?" I'm like, "I'm not letting giving." My mom is.
I just let you come over to use the pool, lady. I don't need surgery.
right.
Are you saying that as a 45-year-old man,
I still let my mom do my.
you're
zits
having your mom pop your zips?
because she gets off on it so much. I mean, she
Oh,
loves
my
it.
wife is
She
crazy.
watches the videos.
My wife is crazy
Dr.
about doing it to Dylan. Dylan's
Dr.
like, stay the fuck away from me, woman.
Dr. Popper or whatever.
Dr. Pepper Popper.
Popper.
Dr. Pepper Pimple Popper? So you're saying you just like to get your mom off.
No,
You said your mom gets off on it.
It was her birthday yesterday. I didn't buy her a present or a card, and I said, you know what, fucking go ahead. And then that's when she asked me for she goes a razor blade, and I'm like, and because it's that big,
That's super fucked up.
But she's been doing it all my life. She used to in my teen years. In my teen years, she would
Pray for someone like you.
in my teen years she would like hold me down on the ground and.
That's what Dylan does.
It's getting worse. Everything you're saying is getting worse.
That's what Mama does to Dylan.
Yep.
Your wife holds your
Trying to
son
hold
down?
him down, but she'll make him stay in
To do what? Pop his
Pop
zip
his
up?
zits.
That is a thing?
Oh God, yeah.
and to be
Moms
honest with you-
love to do it. My mom used to fucking hold me down and take a fucking bobby with the
Bobby pin.
a bobby pin, and
Yep.
fucking scrape the blackheads out of my ear.
My mom was doing it today, and she was messing with stuff today.
I have never heard of that.
No, come on.
My mom never did that to me.
Well, look at how you ended up.
I'm pretty fucked up. Can you imagine how successful I would have been if my mom would have stuck needles in me?
Different
All right,
time,
but see,
friend,
now I
different
can't stop.
times.
That's the problem. Is now
I
stop.
can't stop.
Yeah, you're
stop,
disgusting.
Let's just
stop.
move along. Come on. Zitz, okay.
I don't do that to my daughter. My daughter doesn't have bad acne or anything. Yeah.
She's Asian.
What?
She's part Asian.
She is part Asian. The good parts anyway.
How many parts is she?
50% parts.
At least 50%.
She's got my dick. Landing is the part of the show where we say, hey, we saw this program. People have rated it. Other people have seen it. Other people have commented on it. We've given you all the information. Now it's time for us to rate it. On a scale 1 to 7, set forth by the program from the 1990s, affectionately and accurately known as Wings, we take a look at all the characters. 1 to 7 is the scale. The worst character on Wings is a fella goes by the name of Roy Biggins.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. David Schramm. And number 7, that's the best score you're going to get, and that's the character we call Brian Hackett.
The best a man can get, just like Gillette.
I agree with that 100%. Scott, I turn to you. How do you rate Delirium?
Well, as I alluded to in the beginning of the program, here's the spoiler. I fell asleep through most of it.
He watched it at 6 o'clock, which was past his
At bedtime.
6 p.m.
No, I watched it in the middle of the day
Middle of the day.
on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
Still put me to sleep.
I was arrested. Uh-huh.
We should start a podcast where every word anyone says makes someone think of and then proceed to sing a song.
I can do
about
it.
We could absolutely do
I
it.
could. You know what? That should be a karaoke biggie.
Yeah.
Karaoke biggie.
Karaoke?
Biggie challenge because I can do that.
Oh, because
I believe you.
I live for it.
Look at him. He's still going at the ear.
I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
It made me sleepy. I fell asleep. I don't get the concept. I already said that in Turbulence.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Sure.
It was not made for me. I'm going to give probably the worst score I've ever given on this show, and it's a 1.
What?
Holy cow.
That's the worst score I've ever given.
Ones are rare.
Yeah.
You're using a college ruled line paper to wipe up your
I'm
blood?
not saying this is the tribe, but
I never saw that.
close enough for me.
Fuck you, man.
Hey, this is coming from the guy who didn't watch Steel Justice. Don't think I
Yeah.
forgot. I didn't forget that. Okay.
That
Well,
was-
I've
I
watched-
played my card. I had a free card for that.
I had every one of these has been gems that I've been on. I got to watch Wonder Woman.
Battletoads.
I got to watch Battletoads,
Remember
which
how
I
hard
enjoyed.
remember how hard your dick was when you were watching Battletoads because it's like a sexy cartoon.
Yeah.
Even during the podcast, like our beers were like sliding off.
Yeah.
He fucked up the leaf in the table.
Yeah, I got to watch Wonder Woman, Battletoads.
Yeah.
I've been on. I was on the last show that we interviewed somebody where we watched the cartoon that
Oh, Angora Napkin.
Angora Napkins.
Oh, that was recent.
I have not.
We talked to someone since then. We talked to Pistol Pete guy Mark Derwin.
Yeah.
I have not seen a really really bad pilot until this time.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. He's been on enough to where he's seen the highs and he's seen the lows, and apparently this is a low for him. Mm-hmm. Captain Philip Ressler, I turn to you. How do you rate Delirium?
Jason, I'm going to turn to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna turn
Because a lot of times I forget to segue into your score.
Right.
And I would like to hear what you score this pilot before I give mine.
That's fair. This, to me, absolutely has young adult novel trilogy written all over it. It's got that feel. It's a young girl conflicted about love. And it's funny because in some of these, like I think Belle was the name of Kristen Stewart's character in Twilight.
There's going to be a new Twilight, by the way, guys.
I didn't know anything about that. That Belle, she had no real problems, I don't think.
She had no personality.
She lived up in like Seattle in a beautiful house, and then the vampires come.
Her dad was the sheriff.
Yep.
And
Frederick fucking Chopin.
I don't. It is a weird dystopian future, but I don't think Emma Roberts' character Lena had any real problems. But there's this love drama, and kids love that. I'm not the demographic for Delirium. If this was on TV, I would not be watching it. I have no real interest in it. But I could put that aside and take a look at this for what it is and say, is it any good? And I will say it's fine. They did kind of blow their load here on the first show. maybe the last 3 seasons. Maybe each season is a book. Maybe beyond that, they can continue the story with other characters, or maybe reset with another character and keep going forward if it was a success. This is a 4 for me. I think the acting was fine. There were some interesting ideas with the lobbyist, Thomas Feynman. You know, it wasn't just about this one girl. You had different parties moving in different directions. You had this resistance, all these things in motion. You had a good number of characters moving to do different things, and that's good. It wasn't just one person and her friends doing one thing. It was a lot of different stuff happening. This could keep it going, but I feel like they blew their load in this first episode. I give it a 4. Captain Philip, rest assured, how about you? What do you say?
I completely agree how they blew their load by. I didn't know about the books. I didn't know this whole episode was a full book. I did not know
That's
that.
why we have interesting facts.
But when I was watching it, I was like, oh, what, this already happened? Like you were already like one person out the fence?
Mm-hmm. The show is built on the back of his back ribs.
1 through 7, 1 being the worst, 7 being the best. I'm not a 7 giver. Very rarely am I a 7 giver.
You're stingy with your 7s.
You know, and that's one of the things that makes me who I am.
Absolutely.
You know, people walk up to me.
And
they
we
meet
respect
me.
you for that.
Yeah, the people walk up to me. They meet me like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like,
Why is your ear bleeding?
I'm stingy. I'm stingy with my 7s. That's why I don't play blackjack. No, dice. I'm sorry, craps. That's what
They say craps. My ear's bleeding.
craps. It's not a big deal. Why are you making a big deal out of it?
Because there's like a piece of paper soaked in blood.
I'm giving
It
this.
isn't in my blood.
I'm giving this a 6.
What?
I love Handmaid's Tale. I love.
You like this dystopian
I
future.
love dystopian future. I do believe it's going to happen.
Sure looks that goddamn
And
way.
no, I'm serious. I even before all this stuff happened, when I watched 3 seasons of Handmaid's Tale, I'm
Sure.
like, this wasn't out of the realm. Like this wasn't like, oh, I can't even fathom this because it couldn't happen. I liked that it was not very sci-fi. I know somebody said that it should be more sci-fi. I was glad that it wasn't because I would have really lost touch with it. Did too much happen at one time? Yes, but can you go back and you can go back and
If I could turn back.
you can turn back. You can turn back time. You can do not foreshadowing but post-shadowing, right?
If I could find a man.
I like this a lot.
I take back all the words that I hurt you. And you say,
I'm giving it a 6. I enjoyed this.
wow.
Powerful. I've never seen all 3 Hunger Games. I don't even think I have a whole one. I don't think I've
You
seen.
might like Hunger Games.
I love me some Twilight.
If you like Handmaid's Tale and Twilight,
But I do think that there was so much about
check
this.
out the Hunger Games. You probably will be a movie you enjoy.
I think Handmaid's Tale is more realistic of what could happen in the near future. I'm talking like 15 years, if not less.
Right.
And I think in 2014, this was like, this could happen in 15, 20 years. So I'm giving it a 6. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
And
That's a powerful
also,
score.
I also enjoyed that interview with Mel McComb.
Very good.
I want to.
Assuming it
I want to
happened.
go back to the past.
Please, back to the past. Beat up, bap.
I want to
beat up,
get.
bap.
I got to sign up for my free subscription to Disney Plus because I really want to watch Hamilton.
You can come over and watch it.
I really want to
seriously,
watch
if you
it.
want to, you can come over and watch it. There's a sneak,
July 3rd, right?
there's a sneak preview July 2nd, but it comes out on Disney Plus on July 3rd.
I
I
really,
have
I
no
really,
interest.
really want to
Oh,
see it.
you,
I have no interest in
If
seeing
you
it.
watch this,
I
Don't you
wanna see-
don't you fucking point at me.
I want to see the original
it's
cast.
yes, I
You
do too.
You got to
'Cause
see it.
I got to see it live, but it wasn't the original
was
cast.
cast.
But yes, I will cry.
I mean, we had an episode of IBWIP probably called Hamilheads because we
right.
were fucking.
we were all up
we
in
were
that
all
shit.
about fucking.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Hamilton?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand to heaven and pray. Just one more night together. Let's stay.
Let me ask you
I
this.
wish he sang that good on his own show.
You should hear the last one.
It was
hilarious.
horrible.
It was hilarious. So the thing that's coming out on Disney Plus, the original cast for Hamilton, was that created when the original cast was still going?
Yeah, it was filmed when it was.
So they didn't reassemble them.
No,
This was supposed to be a movie, and because of the future that we are in right now, the present that we are in, it cannot come out in movie theaters. So now it's coming out on Disney Plus.
Captain Philip Restisher, you give it a 6. Scott, you give it a 1. I give it a 4.
Oh, I got that joke because it was your eye.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question real quick. How your brain works?
I am the left brain. I am the left brain.
How your brain works?
Yeah. Ask me how my brain works.
At what point during that did you think that up? Was it when you said that, or was it when you said me, or was it from earlier and you were turning
Is
it?
when I put my car in the park outside.
You can't just tell me the truth.
No, I would never tell you the truth. I give it a 4, and with that, we
Do you
close
love
the
me?
book. No, I don't love you. I got a bloody shot behind my ear. We close the book on Delirium, and we will never speak of that show again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of NERO WOLFE. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. The short-lived adventures of portly detective NERO WOLFE, who would rather eat and tend to his orchids than hit the streets tracking down leads. A man after my own heart. You can find the entire episode of NERO WOLFE by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes. Or go to YouTube, Scott.
You know what to do, too.
That's right. Contact Couch Pilots. It's the program you're listening to, dummy. How would you contact it if you were dumb enough to do that?
I would go to couchpilotspodcast.com where we have everything, every episode, all the links to our social media.
Right.
We have the phone number for our dial-in number, which I'm
You
hoping
never
works.
call me on my cell phone.
Cell phone.
Late night when he needs some
Some
love.
love.
Never call him on his
Cell
cell phone.
Cell phone.
But yeah, we have a dial-in number. We'll play your message on the show.
Yeah, call us at 910-PILOTS-1. It's 910-745-6871. Leave us a message.
And dial my heart.
If
Don't matter where you are, near or far. All you gotta do is just dial my heart.
Yeah.
You talk about it, baby, on the telephone. Call me, baby. You'll never be alone.
Tell me we could do this on karaoke.
Well, I will tell you this. As many lyrics as you guys have in your head, aren't you concerned that like your head's full of these lyrics rather than useful information?
Yeah,
that
I'm
can
not
make-
concerned about it. I know it is.
But I mean, you can know something and still be concerned
Here
about it, right?
here is one that his show is built in the back of his
Back
backpack.
burps.
One of the things like from the NWA Straight Outta Compton diskette, it was a tape when we got it, right? But the song "I Ain't the One" by Ice Cube, which is a banger, I probably haven't heard that song in 10, 15 years.
He can probably still recite it.
I can sing every fucking word of it. Hey, ask me how to find the area of a triangle. Have no fucking idea.
No.
It's fucking insane in the membrane.
Couldn't solve a Rubik's of the cube if I wanted to.
I just
care.
take the stickers off.
I don't care about any of that. Scott, thank you so much for being a part of the program for all these years. This is the last episode.
Okay.
You're on the
Thank
last.
God.
Yeah. Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, check out our podcast, Karaoke Big E. Comes out every Tuesday. Me and Kevin sit around with a guest usually, and we sing songs and shoot the shit. We're back to the normal thing, so singing is
Phase 3,
happening.
baby.
Phase 3 is in effect. Phase 4 is coming around the corner.
Let's think
the
about
last
that for a
episode
second.
that was probably on that you probably heard.
It's probably me on there.
The most timid I've ever been.
That's pretty funny. Your Tony song. Let's really think about this. Hundreds of thousands of podcasts. Most of them probably not active, but still quite a few podcasts. How many are karaoke podcasts? It's not a thing.
You don't find them. I'm the only one.
It's an incredible
I
thing.
mean, literally, there's a new podcast thing I signed up for. They say there's podcasts that are karaoke, but none of them are active for the most part.
So you've checked them out.
I've looked.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's a wonder that we've never been shut down.
No
But
one's done 130 episodes of a karaoke.
But it's
podcast.
all-
That shit down on this clown. Can
It's
I get a witness?
It's all fair. The way we do it is probably we just say it's covers and we cover songs and get away with it. But check out our other podcast. It should one of these days, Kevin will get it to where it is its own feed. It's called the Sixer Podcast. Each week, Kevin and I switch on and off six songs that could mean something to you, could mean anything to you.
Maybe a theme that ties them together.
It's a theme.
And now you're basically radio DJs
Radio
for about a
DJ
half hour,
for a
40
half hour,
minutes.
absolutely.
Which is a lost art.
Yeah.
The radio DJ is lost art. Because at work, we listen to the radio station, and we've noticed that 4 out of the 5
They suck.
No, 4 out of the 5 days a week. Well, first of all, they play the same 72 songs.
Right.
But 4 out of 5 days of the work week, they play a Billy Joel song between 3:30 and 3:45 every fucking day. That's insane.
Now the quality of radio DJ around here,
My mic sounds nice.
I've never been a huge fan of Matt Bayhan, but he is good at what he does.
But most 90% of the
And
radio
same with Anna Kincaid.
but
They're both good at what they do, but
the 90% of the radio stations now, that's all computer generated. The algorithms, it's all computer generated. It's not a DJ pulling a vinyl out or a MP3 even and saying, I want to play this. Here's my set list for the next hour. That's gone.
gone. Now it's all predetermined
Yep.
for them. This is
Yep.
the radio station probably says this is what's going to get played in this hour.
This is what this Taylor Swift song. They paid X amount of money to have this played 3 times a day.
Next amount of times. Yeah.
There you go.
It is a lost art.
Blake, are you? This is phase 3 of the COVID.
Yeah.
Are you still giving out suggestions of what people should
Sure.
be binging? Okay.
I'm in this. I specifically. I think you should watch this pilot. Okay.
Okay.
And then go watch at least the first season of Handmaid's Tale. If you don't have Hulu, you can contact Kevin Clark and get his.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you.
He will give. He's a nice fucking guy.
He hands it out pretty regularly.
I pay for mine, but
Sure.
I got mine free through Sprint.
But no, I would say like The Handmaid's Tale is probably a 30 to 45-year-old version of this. So it's the audience is the 30 to 45-year-old person for Handmaid's Tale. This is a little teeny boppery, but still the concept is.
So they got like 3 or 4 seasons of that out, right?
Yeah, they were filming the new season when COVID came, and so there's been some delays. But no, I have loved every season of Handmaid's Tale. I can see it happening. To me, it's not the sci-fi thing. It's not a shot in the neck or anything.
Right.
It's where there's a group of people that are powerful enough, they take over.
We're talking about repression.
A large region of a fucking country, and they say, this is how we're doing things. If you don't do that, you get your fucking ass beat, and then you get killed. That's plain and simple.
You get your
That's
ass beat and
and
then killed?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, they don't just kill you. They don't just beat your ass. They beat your ass and then kill you.
Ooh.
And like, the part on this where all the cops come and everything like into the neighborhood, that kind of shit happens on Handmaid's Tale. It's like, ba-doop, somebody's fucking up, ba-doop. They come. You can't not hear it from 8 blocks away. Like they make sure that some shit's going down. So don't, because they try to scare people. So Handmaid's Tale, check it out. I do think, you're kind of still in quarantine. At this point, we got about a week and a half left of quarantine. Guys, not too much longer until we can bowl. Hey,
Is it coming? Is that in phase 4?
that's June 26th, baby.
Awesome.
I'm all up on it.
Did you check out the latest COVID event for bowling, the Strike-a-thon or Strike?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, we try. It's kind of like
Don't wear shorts.
Don't wear shorts.
It's like home run derby.
And yeah, it was a very home run
no.
derby. How many strikes you can get in 2 minutes?
Well, they've done that before. It's not a new thing.
You guys watch 13? Was any of you the one of you guys 13 Reasons Why?
No.
Molly did. Molly did.
No.
Come on.
All right. Okay. Well, new
So,
season 13 is where you
Handmaid's Tale. Watch it. Listen to Karaoke Big E. then download
Definitely.
Couch Pilots.
Yeah, and with that,
Listen to the Sixer podcast.
that's fine.
They have a great studio. Karaoke Big E has the best sound
Awesome
quality
studio.
ever.
It is pretty good. This pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we shall see you next time.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.